Greetings, weary traveler, come, warm yourself by the fire and let us regale you with mighty tales, tales of adventure, tales of celebrations, and tales of Tamriel. I am your host Arkhaniir, and we are here with the episode 200, and I'm joined by the entire crew, starting with Aggelos, the founder himself, the man who made this all possible. How are you doing, Ag?
Doing wonderful, Ark. It's pretty amazing to see 200 episodes of this show, a show we started way back in, well, the very beginning of 2014. It's still going. In fact, I was just thinking about this, that my son wasn't even born when we started this show.
That is, yeah.
So my little Nordling is growing like a weed, and it's just amazing to see how this show started and his life kind of beginning around that time, and it just kept growing at that point. It's crazy.
It's been a journey indeed. It's been a journey indeed. But we are also joined by our very own BethesdaGameDays and PAX East agent, the charity live streamer Lotus. How are you doing?
I'm great. This is pretty weird to think about when you guys started. Like you said, before you even had your son, because I remember when you guys originally brought that up on the show years ago. I was like, oh wow, that's going to be like a huge change and everything like that. And these were all long before I have the pleasure coming on. It's like, oh, and now we're celebrating 200 episodes, and I'm on the show. All right, that's different.
I am in similar feelings there. Yeah. It's, man. But before we continue with all that, we have one final person in our crew who is the very own Argonian voice of the show. Although I'm not sure if that's something to be proud of, but Promethean, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. I mean, I'm proud of it most of the time. I actually don't even have a song for tonight, but I guess I should in honor of 200.
I mean, we can wing that as well.
Yeah, they're bound to have an Argonian celebration song or something.
Oh, okay. So I'm gonna look for that.
Oh, well, that sounds good. That sounds good. So, I was asking Ag pre-show, like, okay, this is episode 200 celebration. How do we do this? And the general consensus seemed that we'll just wing that as well. You know, the usual with the derailing and everything like that.
It's the tried and true method, man.
True.
That's how it goes.
True. I mean, I was thinking about getting something ready, but then, yeah, I suppose winging it is more...
200th appearance of this Khajiit, too. Because here she is. For 200 episodes, she has interrupted my show. Yes, she has. And just in time for Elsewhere, too.
Yeah, I was going to say, now it's region, relevant. So
Yeah.
Quick, turn her into some type of necromancer and we'll be doubling up.
Okay. I gotta say something here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Who else is this is probably the thing that has ticked me off more about Bethesda than anything else. That April Fool's trick about the cat costumes. Why is that not real?
Man.
Oh my god, that was
I was just going to say that. Because as you can see, Luck's sleeping. I was going to buy one for him.
I would 100% have bought her Alfie costume.
I mean,
I'm pretty sure that anyone who owned a cat was about to buy those, and then it was like, wait, they're not real?
I don't have my credit card at the computer, like, take my money.
I don't have a cat, but I was planning to get one in case I ever get a cat, just in preparation. It's, I mean, April Fools, okay, but it was just too brutal. Bethesda,
there's some April Fools when they
there's a line you don't cross. There's a line you don't cross.
Well, yeah, but some are like, they're funny. Oh, it was cute. Then there's the ones that are actually devastating when they release it, because it's like, I would have taken that.
Yeah, I wanted that. Don't do this to me. Yeah.
Oh man. Well, it was a good one because it was that desirable. I guess it was a good one. It was a solid.
And now they just need to know that they can actually utilize that next year.
Yeah, I mean, they can always
Dr.
do
that in chat. I bought 5 cats, 1 for each costume. Now what am I supposed to do? Oh man.
Yep.
I need it in my life.
Okay, you know, Swampy, this one, for this episode only, there we go. I'll have... There we go. There we go. Episode 200 said. How am I supposed to keep that here?
Yeah.
Are you guys happy?
Hold on.
Are you guys happy?
Oh, he's gonna take a screenshot of
Hold
this.
on, everybody. Wait 1 second.
Even the Guar deserves to join the 5-year celebrations and episode 200 celebrations, although he's not standing there. Hold on.
Well,
Maybe
before we continue this, I have to perform a ritual. So
there we go. He's there
right.
now.
You guys ready for this ritual, Ark? You guys here?
I'm not ready. Whatever this is.
All right. Well, it's sweet mother, send your child unto me. Oh crap! Here she is.
Oh, it stays.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Hi. Now I've been officially on a show with you.
It's only taken forever.
Yeah, no, a couple episodes here or there.
Yeah. So today is obviously something quite amazing. 200 episodes in, and I never thought that it would ever make it this far. And I know I've kind of been in the background for a while, but when we started this, it was just a dream, and to see it come to fruition as far as it has, it's awesome. And it's momentous for us that we have this community and all these people that support us, and the game is still going. And as you can see, I'm still a fan, Brotherhood, and it's amazing how far it's come, and I'm actually gonna cry. I'm so proud of you for everything you've done, and so proud of the fans and everybody that he's come in contact with. So, way to go, everybody.
I mean, before I have to say, Taze, this is like
it's one of your favorite moments from the show.
You just interrupted Ark.
I know, so it's okay.
Well, that's not going to change in 200 episodes. He has to interrupt Ark. No.
Interrupt everybody because we know Egg. My favorite, I don't know. I can't remember that far back. Oh, okay. That's a good one. Probably my dual reading with
I was gonna say.
Oh my god, yes. Of the Lusty Argonian. Oh my god, that was phenomenal.
I was gonna say, like, if I had to guess for you, it's gotta be that. It's gotta be the reading.
Right.
But we're gonna have to read the rest of them.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Getting all steamy up in chat with the British accents and everything.
So when can we plan that? Can that be now?
Right.
So what were you gonna say, Ark?
Yeah, I mean, this, in my opinion, I mean, we always said that Ag was the filler, and you were the main star. But if it wasn't for your reading, I, for one, probably wouldn't have gotten stuck on Tales of Tamriel at first. So thank you so much for those amazing readings that we got to this point in the show and in the community. So I had to say that.
I definitely missed the reading. That was something that was really big for me because I love books and I love reading, and every night I read to my son like 5 different things. So reading out loud to everybody and having them enjoy it as much as they did was something that I looked forward to it every show, and it made me feel just so good that everyone loved it. And I miss being on the show. I do, but momming kind of comes first.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah, it happens.
It's not quite the same, though.
Well, I'm happy to hear that, I made such an impact, and that people miss me a little bit. It's always good to know that.
A little
that
bit.
You were appreciated.
Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely.
So I just want to say congratulations, guys, and everybody that's been a huge part of it, and way to go. Way to go, babe.
Well, thank you for helping get everything started before I was around. So I was a listener for a long time before I was ever actually on here. So you were one of the original founders as well.
Yes, yeah. It's just a tiny dream.
I'd say it worked out after quite a few years.
Oh, yeah.
I'd say that you can count it as a success at 200 episodes.
That is a major success. Not
Yeah.
many shows can make it that far or say that they've had the impact that they've had.
Seriously.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the aim is
great.
300.
Yeah, I love it. This is.
I know,
knew
that
if
hoodie's
I had to come on,
fantastic.
I had to wear my hoodie to show my support.
I'm so jealous of that hoodie.
It's really warm though. It's like, Are you ready? Yeah. Well, I love you guys and
Oh, we
chat.
love you too.
Love you guys and maybe 100 more, right?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, most
absolutely.
definitely. We are around. We are not. Even if you guys want to shut it down now, we are not going to.
They're not leaving no matter what, is what they say.
Yeah.
They're around for 100 more.
Let's wait for Ag to settle down. There we go. Welcome back.
Welcome.
I gotta say, I miss Tace's voice a lot.
She's the best.
Right? That
Yeah, I
reminded
actually-
me how much I miss those readings.
Yeah.
When we were on the when we were all muted, that's why I grabbed my phone real quick and
Yeah,
I
I
called her up
noticed.
there. I said, "I think you need to come down here for this."
No, that was a fantastic addition. Like,
Yeah.
it was funny just hearing her actually on the podcasting. And it's like, oh yeah, man, I miss those readings. Those were fun.
Is there a way to can we download all previous episodes from YouTube? Is it
do you just
possible?
want the audio or do you want the
Audio.
video?
Yeah, I mean, if it's video, I can always
I
convert
have
it.
all 200 episodes on my drive. I
Ah.
can get them to you whenever you want.
I mean, I am thinking of going into an undertaking of basically compiling all of Tace's readings into
I
a
will get
long.
you all 200 episodes. Well, tell me
All
which
right.
episode you want, and I'll drop box them to you.
Well, all of them that Tace was reading.
Well, I know, but I'm making
Quite
you
a
do the
few at the
work.
start. Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
you could iron it out.
Yeah.
Also, rip any hard drive that holds that many episodes. How many hours of content is that?
Hold on. I will tell you that this is actually a good example. Hold on.
Yeah.
I'm going to pull this up. And there's my drive. It runs a little slow because, of course, there's 200 episodes. on it.
Right. I
So-
thought about that and then forgot to make a note of how many hours has Tales technically had of
All right.
produced content, not even the stuff that gets cut.
19.4 gigs of
Gee,
episodes.
Good
That
lord.
is a lot.
That's only
we're
audio,
almost
yeah?
Of just audio. That is
Yeah,
just
that's-
audio.
I mean,
Yeah.
if we
Wow.
guessed we had 2 hour a show, our average length of a show is 2 hours. Considering
Yeah.
earlier episodes were 3-4 hours at times.
Yeah, there were a few
There
almost
are,
4-hour episodes.
Yeah, I suppose there's 400 hours of Tales
Length?
in total.
Hold on, I'm actually going to
Something like
sort
that.
this. This is fun information.
I was
Hold
going
on
to
a
say,
minute.
I love stats, so this
All
is
right.
like reading your stats sheet in Skyrim to compare with each other.
Our longest episode, I'm going to sort by length here. Our longest episode was episode 38, Interview with a Raider, at 3 hours, 38 minutes, and 8 seconds.
Oh my lord.
That also has the size one for 204 megs, almost 205 megs in size.
Good God.
That was our longest episode.
I knew there was one that was pretty close to 4 hours.
Yep, 3 hours, 38 minutes, and 8 seconds. Our shortest episode was episode 116, Needs More Disease Resist, 25 minutes and 52 seconds. That's when everyone was sick and I was by myself.
Oh, I actually remember that.
The solo
now. Yes.
episode, yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
That's a clever title.
Needs More Disease.
I don't
think
Yeah.
even the image I had used was an Argonian because of the disease resist.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's appropriate.
That was our shortest episode. I've only ever done 2 or 3 episodes that were solo.
like a
there were
solo
very
thing?
few.
Yeah.
1 or 2. Let's see. I'm trying to pull up all this interesting information about.
Right? I'm serious. It's like
This is
reading
like
your
Tales
stats page
trivia
on an
now.
old character. It's like, oh man, I played this game for so long. What were my stats on this dude? Oh, look at that. I did this many times. How about that?
Yeah.
Episode 96 was where we started our hashtag blame Krabby. That one was fun.
Oh man,
that was
I
a good
remember
one.
Krabby.
Yeah.
I mean, now that you mention it, I actually want to give a multiple shout-outs, because up until this point, there's been Krabby, there's been Avi Optimal, there's been Nate, there's been Esteldian, you know, there's been Deltia. We had a lot of people.
Deltia, who
yeah.
I probably watched his guides to beat VMA about 200 times before I managed to dig my way through some of those arenas.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been a lot of co-hosts, some, you know, long-term, some... like Nate, you know, whenever he can, he joins. There's been so many great names through Tales, and it's being part of it now at this 200th episode. Man, I don't know.
I know. Yeah, I was gonna say, getting to have my name like bunched in with everybody like that. It's like, oh, well, that's delightful.
For those of you who don't know, and this one's a lot of fun as well. Aloha, a good friend of our show, her first episode was episode 39. Is where she first guested on this show.
Yep.
Nate's first episode was on 51. And I don't know if you guys know this, but a lot of people, especially early on, there was a very popular site called Tamriel Foundry.
Oh, yeah.
Still popular.
Wow.
Yeah.
Atropos, who is the creator of that site, he joined us for episode 46 of Tales of Tamriel.
I remember that episode now.
Our very first interview with a developer from ZeniMax Online Studios was episode 47, and that was Mr. Joe Blackburn. It was our very first interview that we ever had. That was actually our very first interview we ever had as a show. Like, as a network with a developer.
Well, you got to... I didn't realize you started with the developer.
Yep.
Huh.
Joe was... I remember this so vaguely, and I don't really even know where we are in the show since I got intercepted by Dark Brotherhood member.
This will happen.
But I specifically remember I was talking with Jessica, like on Twitter. It was on Twitter. Yeah, she sent me a message on Twitter, and I don't even know how the conversation started about getting an interview, but she actually said, "Yeah, we can get an interview. Can you do it today?" And this was like, I still worked at my old job. I faked sick, just so you know, because he's like, if you're free today at like 1 in the afternoon or 1 or 2 in the afternoon, we can record this. Now, again, I was back at our old house, so we didn't do live streams at that point. But I specifically remember I immediately called Deltiel on the phone because I have his cell phone number. I called him on the phone and said, "Are you free today at like 1:30? I am heading home from work. I faked sick to get off of work so I could come home, and they have a developer who wants to talk with us." And he's like, absolutely. We were like on the 30-minute drive home. I am talking him on the phone. He's writing down questions. We literally did this interview in like the drive home as I'm like rattling off stuff.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
So a little behind the scenes action there.
So speaking of behind the scenes, which is just kind of funny because I actually thought about the thing with Tamriel Foundry and Atropos being on. And the first time I had the pleasure of guesting on the show before I became like a permanent host, I remembered from that episode that you guys did not tell him to mute his mic while you were playing the end music. So he was talking like a jackass over it.
Yeah.
So then when I was on, I remember you typed in chat, like, he's not saying anything. Like, did someone tip you off? And I was like, no, I remember the episode where you guys kind of were snickering and it was like, haha, we didn't tell him to mic, and I was determined to not do the same thing when I was on.
You were a follower because that was something we did almost the hazing of every new co-host. We didn't say anything about it.
Yes, and I remembered that because I was laughing so hard because he was talking to himself essentially and seemed confused that nobody was responding because the music was playing.
One of the funniest rated episode titles. Do you guys have one? Because I like my puns. But one of the funniest episodes I have on here, 50 Shades of Grey March.
Oh,
we were
I love
talking
that.
about the lore of the Shivering Isles.
Yup.
I had so many people come up to me about that.
Mine's gotta be the most recent toilet ordeal.
Yep, that was gonna be when we got into our memories. That was gonna be mine, and you took. That's the best. That was like one of my first episodes too.
Yes,
that's what I walked into, and I just didn't. It was
just too much.
So that was where I felt super invited by everybody in the community, because so many people and so many messages like, wow, you derailed that real bad with that. And then you kept coming up with the toilet puns while we were going.
He's like, I don't know, all I know is I can swim down the hole. That's what happens when you flush.
Yup.
I was so beat red by the end of that episode. I couldn't breathe. It was so funny.
Oh man.
I mean, Ark, I think at this point we should just do our remembrances, because that's essentially what it was.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Off.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, the one thing I can never forget and can't get out of my head is when I first was a guest host at Tales at episode 25. Now, back then, after listening to Tales of Tamriel, I was like, you know what? I want to do something like this. I was like impressed, so I started a website, and Aggelos invited me over as a guest host. I was writing blog posts, guides, and things like that.
Arkhaniir's Compendium?
I think it was called that. Yeah, Gamer's Compendium or Arkhaniir's Compendium. Yeah, something like that. So I was writing like news and things like that, and Ag invited me to the show, and at that point I'm listener, but I am a fan. So I am nervous as I could be. And back then I wasn't streaming on Twitch as well, so while I understand and write English perfectly, I can't speak. Now the problem is, I didn't know I can't speak until I actually get on the show. So I remember a very specific thing. Ag asks me, like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how nervous are you? And at that point I tried to say 12, but instead it was just like, 12.
I think Gio gives you a hard time about that almost every time you're on the show. Yeah.
Oh no, it's Golik. Yeah.
Golik was it?
Yeah, I told him about this in real life, and now he just never let it go after that point. I mean, it's. But yeah, I mean that episode.
Never should have sent to Gallisner, because they're just
be
honest.
To be honest, I knew Ark didn't really, speak English all that well, especially early on. Obviously, now it's much better. I actually thought it was a Turkish word at first. I was like, oh, okay. I tried to play it off like it wasn't a thing, not just... I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. He kind of slipped into, all right. No, I only learned afterwards that it was just a slip of the tongue, kind of.
A nervous 12.
Yeah. Like when I my son meets someone new, I'm like, say hello, and he goes, big eye, like,
yeah, pretty much.
Hides behind my this cat's biting me.
I was gonna say, your cat wants.
She wants attention.
Yeah, I was gonna say, someone wants to be on episode 200 quite a bit.
Like, she's like hard. Like,
I was gonna say, she's hard attached to your wrist.
Oh my!
I also love how Lux is like completely uninterested in the background, unconscious on.
It's because it's not the middle of the night.
Oh yeah, that's
like he sleeps. Yeah, he sleeps all day, and then come like 1 or 2 a.m. he's running around my house. I've also had like the doors open, and I don't have screens, so he's been like trying to go outside. So I've been like fighting with him all day. So
now he's just tuckered out. Like I'm tired.
Yeah.
Khajiits are trying to take revenge for Elsewhere and Dragons.
Yeah.
Yeah, she is. Yep. I'm not paying enough attention to her, apparently. I don't know. Weird.
Oh, another thing I remember from episode 25, again, it was after QuakeCon, and they were just announced, they just announced Justice System and Champion System. And I yeah.
No, go ahead. I'm like, I gotta talk about QuakeCon too.
Okay. I remember I was trying to talk about how being able to, allocate a lot of champion points for different perks and stuff would allow us to customize our builds more. But instead of this one sentence, I spent 5 minutes trying to explain this in various ways, not being able to form a single sentence, just skipping from here to there. And I remember TES fangirl Luna was in chat, like, she went, so you mean it will increase the customization? And I'm like, yes, that's what I'm trying to say. So yeah, it was a struggle, that episode. And back
Ark,
then
I think you have a second request. Tiny Thinker chat, is there a favorite moment highlight reel from the first 200 episodes?
Favorite moment highlight reel?
Yeah, like clipping all the favorite episodes.
Well, you are getting Dropboxed a whole bunch of things. You have, 1,900 hours to listen to all that stuff again, right?
Yeah.
It's not like you're busy during the week.
I could attempt it, but first I wanna compile all of Tase's readings, and then maybe I can.
Yeah.
Then maybe I can get into a highlight reel, but I would have to re-listen to everything, and I think for that I would have to quit my job.
I'm gonna have to do this one. Does anyone remember when Thais read something and tried to do a male voice and failed horribly?
Oh my god, yes. Because it just sounded like she was being stern, not that she was a guy. It's so funny to think, like, the fact that you were on at episode 25, Ark. I'm trying to think of when the show literally did not have like you on it, and like even that is complicated to think about because you've been around for so long, and you weren't on as a permanent even host at that. That was just like you guesting,
No.
And then there was a break, and then you came back. Like, and I'm like, no,
it wasn't even a break. I guessed it on 25, and then I came back at 108 or something. So there, if that's actually 100 episode.
Hold on, I'll find out exactly when this happened.
Yeah,
because we had our first new crew shift at episode 52.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's when Deltia had left.
Yep.
Esteldian had left. And I had pulled in Avi Optimal. And
no, I think Avi had left as well at that point.
No, I think Avi was one of the new crew. Yeah. He wasn't one of the original. He was one of crew 2. They had stopped doing the show, and then we got the new crew in, and it was Avi was there. And then it was episode, Centennial was 100. That was exciting. One mega server to rule them all. News and gameplay. No, I think you were almost around 101. Avi was there. I think you're like 101, Ark.
Oh, really?
Right after that? Yeah, pretty much right after the Centennial or whatever, because it was after the Centennial. No, Esteldian joined at 50. That's right. That was when Esteldian and Avi Optimal joined, is at 51. Mm-hmm. And of course, over time, because of changes in the game and whatnot, Esteldian was like, I'm done, because we're MMO players, and despite what you would say, whether it's good or bad, depending on who you're talking to, ESO has become less and less like an MMO. Some people say that's a good thing, others it's not. And Esteldian was like, well, I'm not interested. Well, I'm with Esteldian on that one, but I like MMO gameplay. It's still amazing, but he was like, I kind of joined this for the group aspect and it becoming so single player focused. But he wanted to push through to 100. So that's why 100 was his last episode, because he had let me know that he was going to leave around episode like 89 or something like that.
I remember him slowly kind of having less, and it was always like, oh yeah, no, it's fun, blah, blah, blah. But he was like, he didn't seem like, he seemed more interested in the community and not wanting to leave that way than it was in the game itself at the time.
Correct. Yeah, because community was obviously the most important thing. And yeah, it was after episode 1. I know I began talks with Ark even before this about coming on the show, because I knew Esteldian was going to be gone after 100, but because 100 was such a big milestone, of course I could, he wanted to be there for that, and I wouldn't have it any other way. So you were pretty much ready like at 101, Ark, if I remember correctly.
It probably took me a few weeks to just mentally prepare for that anyway, so...
Fair.
You've adjusted quite well. I was gonna say. I'm pretty sure you speak English better than I do at this point. So
Definitely better than I do.
It's just the accent I just can't hide. Every single Turkish person that comes to my stream is like, wait, are you Turkish? And I'm like, really? Still?
Yes.
It's just, I cannot hide it. It's always there.
I often get the "Are you Greek?" because of the name, and I'm like, no.
It's just a tag.
Well, you would get it even more if we started pronouncing it right, I suppose.
Also that.
Yeah, no, I'm committed to my mispronounced Greek word. Yeah.
See, and that's why it's that makes it not Greek. That makes it yours. So.
Yeah, no, I've been pronouncing it wrong for a decade now, and I'm not stopping. So
I mean, I take Greek as like a language, and you're not necessarily pronouncing it like entirely wrong.
It has a more guttural. It's how does it spell? It's Aggelos instead of Aggelos instead.
No, because you're missing a letter if you want Aggelos. It'd be like a Aggelos almost, because the G's turn into Y's in the middle of a word.
Oh yeah, they do.
Weird.
Yeah,
really weird. Yeah.
I mean, our true pronunciation was still wrong.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah.
Advanced linguistics right here. Also, I didn't know you took Greek, Promethean. That's interesting.
That's what happens when you read a Greek Bible but don't speak Greek. So
yeah,
I have no idea what the words actually meant in that way, because I knew what they meant because I'd have a translation. I'm reading it in that way for a better understanding, but not having it heard it. The words in my head, if someone were to speak a very familiar passage to me, I wouldn't know it because I already have my head canon of what it should sound like, not what they say it really is.
Exactly.
Yeah, my head canon's in there, so.
Man.
So yeah, what was that? 45 minutes of reminiscing?
Yeah, no. I have one more reminiscence. One more to go over for me.
All right,
one more.
I'm down.
All right.
Yeah.
One of my favorite reminiscences, reminiscences. I don't know. Reminiscences.
Remnants. No.
And if I have to look, see if she's still in chat. Hold on. She may not be. I'm not really sure. Is Tear Eater still in chat? Okay, she is.
She was a second ago, yeah.
So this was very early on. Deltia and I were talking, and if you ever met Deltia, he's a very big PvP meathead, as he says, and that was the title we had for him. And him and I used to get into a bunch of stuff, but it was a matter of we were speaking about what the Elder Scrolls meant to us, and we were starting to get a little choked up about this, because it means so much to us as we went along. And Thais, without skipping a beat, goes, "All right, guys, pack up your ovaries. We got a show to do."
Oh, man,
and we just lost it. Because I've never heard her call us out like Delty was shocked. Like, come on, guys, pack up your ovaries.
Yeah. Well, she was so disinterested in the crying bit, and it was just like, all right, let's get back to this. Like, no.
All right, you guys done with your little hug fest? All right, let's move on. Wow. All right.
Fair enough. Yeah.
I think we're gonna hug fest it again because I think it's really kind of cool that like episode 2, and this is total coincidence, but 200 falls within like the whole time span of like the 25-year mark and everything that's going on right now, and I think it's kind of cool to be
very much that. So. I agree with that. I did find that funny because at BethesdaGameDays, I was like, wait a minute.
I swear, if you guys make me cry, I'm kicking you all off the show.
I was just looking around and like some of the pictures I was trying to take was like, is it like weird that like all of this is happening and like these pictures and stuff I'm getting like in our promotion for the fact that it's going to be the 200th episode of the show too. And I'm like, just the fact that it all falls on the same week essentially is like, wow, what are the odds of that? Like,
I swear insane. I didn't plan it that way. I mean, it was like it was all
whenever shows were missed like over the years or whatever, and it was just it happened to all sync up like right now. It's like, oh man.
It was all a 5-year-long elaborate plan by Aggelos,
Right?
like skipping shows when
All
he's calculating.
planned.
Yeah, thread
Yeah,
and
like-
fate all tied to the Elder Scrolls, no matter what.
Yeah, we'll just assume that's exactly what happened.
He has a wall full of like
course.
scheduling. He's like calculating 25th year of Elder Scrolls, 50th year of ESO, and 200 episode of Tales. He's like calculations everywhere.
You walk into my room and there's this weird like serial killer vibe of like mathematical
The
like,
pins.
equations
Yeah,
written on
the
the wall.
pin thing with the string connecting the wall on the chart.
Pack up your ovaries. Yeah, my niece is over there laughing at me because she's reading chat about pack up your ovaries. Yeah, that's a thing. It happened. Pack up your ovaries. Oh man,
Good lord.
oh, I don't even know. I don't even know what to do with the show. I know Ark had some plan going.
We do have
but
sort of a structure. The only thing before we go off memory lane that I wanted to just point out, just because it was one of the first things that anybody recognized, like what I did on the show because of, and we all know how much Ark loves it. But the fact that the Guaranier joke kind of caught on way more than I intended.
Yeah.
And I think he might still be in chat. But Delta 912, if he is still in chat, we were talking the other day, and I was on Guaranier. By the way, Guaranier, you are officially an Empire. I got that achievement, and that is your title forever on your character.
Wait, hold on. You got that?
No, I got it on Guaranier. Oh yeah.
Oh my god, the dedication. I mean, I can't
no,
even get that on my main.
No, the
Empire
fake
roar,
one.
not
The fake
Emperor.
one.
Yeah,
The
the one
Empire
for-
roar.
Yeah, the joke one.
Yep. That's what I'm saying. I couldn't
Oh,
get
yeah.
that on my main character.
See, I'm telling you, I'm slowly making this you, which is actually where I was going with this. So, Delta referred to you on the podcast as Guaranier, and I was like, no, that's the character. And he was like, no, I think at that point, Guaranier is him, and Arkhaniir is the character.
It's a fake character.
And then he was like, wait, are you actually serious? Did I really get those backwards? And I was like, yes, you got those backwards. So-
I mean, to be honest, your Guaranier is probably further progressed than Arkhaniir is, so you might as well just accept it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still at 760 champion points on my main character, while Guaranier is, maxed out, yeah?
He's 1,000, what is he, 1,068, I believe.
I am
At this
beaten
point.
by my joke doppelganger.
Yep. That's a sad day for you, Ark.
You know
Wow.
what? Nah, he's doing the show then. There we go.
He probably did Black Rose Prison vet too, so
Not that much.
yeah, he's tanking all these. He's like no healer tanking all the vet
Yep.
new hard modes.
Yeah.
Still running Sexplar build.
Sexplar build, yeah. Oh, I saw that in chat. When did Sexplar begin? When was
Yes.
that? It was Imperial City. Whenever Imperial City came out.
Yeah, which was the
Ooh.
first technical
Yeah.
expansion, because Craglorn was an expansion, but
Not
it was a
really.
PC only expansion, and then it came
Yeah.
default in the console version.
That's because Craglorn was when it was still a submodel.
Yes.
Imperial City. And again, I was saying I was going to talk about QuakeCon. Remember all the stuff we got at like the 2014 QuakeCon? We found out about Orsinium, Imperial City, Murkmire, even though then
Oh,
it was
that-
an
An
adventure zone.
Yes.
Spell crafting, the champion point system, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
I'm still waiting for the Kathringi ceremonial armor that apparently they had concept
Oh,
for.
yes. I actually remember that. I was still wondering, because there was all that debate after, what was it, Rothgar?
Nick
where it
Conkle.
went- oh, man, Nick Conkle with his spellcrafting
Yep.
system, the rune
Yep.
tablets. When it went to veteran rank 16, and everybody was all worried
Oh,
that
man.
Murkmire was going to be like, oh, no, it's going to be veteran rank 18. And it's like, well, many, many years later, it is right before they cut champion points, to which nobody even knew what that was back then.
Yeah.
I'm going to find something. Give me a second to find this. And this is something that I thought was really cool. I saw it on Reddit. And as soon as I can find it, I'm going to
All right.
I'm trying to find it. Keep talking. I'll find it.
Okay. Don't you can't.
Well, that's all right. I was gonna say, just to a couple people in chat who have been like subbing/donating. Thank you, Disturbed Vet, for the bits. And I was gonna say, Sinister Souls. I was gonna say it's James. His little quote: "Happy 200 episode, guys, and here's to 100 more." And he's back in the shield wall again. So just thank you for the stuff popping up in chat while we're reminiscing.
I can't remember where it's at now, but it was like a joke thing because of the 5 years. They said, let's take a look back at all the stuff that ZOS was. And they said when champion points had achievements for actually spending 900, 1800, and 2700 champion points before they capped it.
Right, because, oh my lord, the people
before Dungeon Finder existed and you met in front of Wayrest sewers, so people knew that's where you wanted to go to be in a dungeon.
I was just talking about that the other night. Because it was, I don't even think they had Undaunted for a while, and you would, then eventually you stood in front of the Undaunted Enclave, and you were like, "Here's my role, and I'm trying to run them." Yep. Oh man, my favorite, and I still it totally shocked me when I came back because I took a break for a while. Is when they added in, they split the veteran and the normals, and then it was ones and twos. And you could do all of them on normal.
Yes.
And I was like, I came back and I was like, what is going on? I was like, this is not right. Something is wrong.
I mean, when you think about it, early days.
My favorite.
Yeah.
City of Ash 2 was the hardest dungeon, and only the best groups would actually do the three platform Valkynscoria.
The three, and the amount of groups that the Maw of the Inferno or whatever
you couldn't pass it. Or even
because the ads would build up so fast, kind of nuke them. It would literally blue screen people because it was like there's too many, we can't control them.
I can't do it.
Anyone remember when not Maelstrom, the precursor Dragonstar Arena didn't have a quest, so you had to do the whole thing in one sitting?
You still have to.
No, the quest lets you save your spot.
No.
Yeah, they don't.
Unless they just they don't save. No, you have to do it in one sitting.
You have to yes. They let you do it in Maelstrom, not in Dragonstar.
You can't. It's still a one attempt.
If there's a reason for it.
Through.
Yep, but you have to clear it in one go now. Yeah, that is absolutely a thing.
I remember throwing myself at Dragonstar Arena endlessly. And not completing it.
Or when Deltia was on the show, and he just, for weeks, was just like, we went in, and we got to Arena 4, and then we just died for 6 hours. And then we went back next week, and it's like, oh, now we made it to Arena 5. And I'm just like, dude, what am I in for when this launches?
Honestly, I remember Deltia soloed Dragonstar Arena on a Dragon Knight, Dunmer Dragon Knight Vampire combo when it was broken.
When you guys were all in, what was the name of the Vampire Emperor Dragon Knight?
I have a tale.
That you guys
I remember writing a poem for it.
Yeah,
to Tales episode.
Yeah, it was, and the name was ridiculous. Yeah, do you have it? Because the name was like Lizzie McGuire or something ridiculously insulting too, by what I remember.
I remember the poem went something like Dunmer Dragon Knight Vampire. Oh, and if it's also the Emperor, and then something. That's just the 2 lines I remember. But Dunmer Dragon Knight Vampire Emperor was insane. That I remember. It was the topic of the show for several weeks. It was brought up because in Cyrodiil it would just one vampire Dunmer Dragon Knight Vampire Emperor would just wipe out a castle. You would be defending a siege with 100 people and he would just impulse your face off along the castle wall and you would just stare at it as everyone in your group just fell down to one person.
Yep, run in with the bat storm or whatever and just obliterate a guild. It's like,
that's what happened to us. Early on, we had one of our first guild PvP events. This was very early on. There had to be, and I know for some PvP guilds this ain't a big deal, but for ours it was 50 people or more in a group. It's all of our guild.
Oh, yeah.
One Dragon Knight Vampire wiped us all. I think he was an emperor, but yeah, it was just like
even still, I mean, as broken, overpowered as Emperor is, which I still stand by the fact that is cheating in a way that the game allows, because the amount of damage you can do, I mean, anybody who's grouped with me knows that my character is not built for damage. And when I can Dragon Leap into a wall of Aldmir Dominion seizing a place and get like, oh, look, I just got 47,000 AP and just wiped their horde. It's like, I'm a tank. That should not be allowed. Like, I am literally cheating. It's like, and I'm not good at PvP. So, like, if you're actually good at it, the amount of damage you could do as Emperor is mind-boggling.
By the way, Ag, I just realized something. Do not delete this episode from Twitch.
all right. I won't.
Because I forgot to hit that record button.
It wouldn't be an episode 200 without that.
No, I don't delete the Tales ones. The only ones I delete off Twitch are the From the Ashes ones, because we do the post show and we keep that separate.
I will need this.
Okay.
All right.
Wow.
I just looked down there and it's like,
you'd think for 200 episodes we'd be more professional than this, but
No.
Is that a subtle implication that maybe after an hour now we should probably discuss the actual news before so Twitch doesn't self-destruct on us either?
We have so much news and tales between all of us. I don't think we're ever finished.
it was a good thing that we did this, just for the fact that for an episode 200 you'll have to forgive us, ladies and gentlemen, but to be honest, if you don't like it, screw you, because it's 200 episodes we get to talk about this. Yeah. This is us getting to talk about it. And in fact, if you're a fan, you've listened to all 200 episodes, so you're probably like, wow, okay, I get that. So
I got all those ridiculous jokes and references from, year 3, year 1, all that stuff.
So should I start recording now?
Hey, you know what? If you might as well, because then at least you've got the episode, and then we just, no matter what, we've got the reminiscing thing saved to Twitch either way.
I suppose, yeah.
It's always good to have a double security, since we might be prone to destroying things constantly wherever we go.
Yeah,
makes sense. Yeah, I started.
That's a good thing.
In my defense, to be awake at this show properly, I drank more coffee, espresso shots, than I should have in the evening. So
Ark, I've been so tired today, but I knew 200 was important. You know how I gave up caffeine?
Yeah,
I saw that. I saw the game fuel. I was like, oh, even Ag's caffeine. Actually, while we've been talking, people in chat were mentioning what they were drinking and stuff like that, and I made the comment of, I wish I had caffeine. My wife went to the store and got me Red Bulls, and they're currently chilling in the freezer. So she's like, don't worry, I got some. Yes.
I got you covered. I'd given up caffeine, so
I know. That's why I'm always mesmerized that you're so functional. We just took the dog for a hike earlier, so my legs are screaming. I don't know how something so small can be so fast and not get held up by literally anything.
Have you had a toddler? Because guess what? So are they.
Yeah, I know. I feel like this is just prep work for when we have kids or something.
Yeah, no, trust me.
Yeah. It just speeds around all the time and then just falls asleep. It's like, oh, good. And then the second I go to sleep, the dog wakes up. It's like, damn it.
Yeah. Pets and kids, they're pretty much the same.
Pretty much. Yeah. Nice. I just say we continue on with the show and do news.
Yeah, might as well.
Or whatever.
That does make sense.
We'll end our reminiscence.
It's a solid 1 hour reminiscing session.
Yep.
Yeah, reminiscing.
No. Reminiscence.
Okay.
That's what we're calling it.
Okay. I'm down for
Sounds
new
like
words.
a peanut butter cup.
It does, actually.
Like Reese, it's like Reese's Pieces, but you just
combined into one.
You just smash them together.
Isn't that what you do anyway? Like, that is the law for those. You take them and you have gladiatorial fights, and whoever wins is the champion.
Casual Ranger would be very proud of that concept.
You take them and you smush them together, and then whoever wins, which one doesn't break, he keeps going up against the rest. And then whichever one survives to the end of the bag, I don't get those. Yeah, they become they get released into the wild. They're given their wooden sword to show their mark of freedom, and they get to live.
And you're free.
And you are free, exactly.
Oh my goodness.
I didn't know I did that, did you?
Okay, there we go.
No, I didn't. That's
what I do when I'm not recording.
That's a little look into how I eat my Reese's Pieces.
All right,
I can
news.
understand the Sour Patch Kids, but not Reese's Pieces.
All right. Do we want to start in the order it is in, or
no?
Yeah,
because I say we skip the crown showcase.
Yes,
I mean, it will be in the
we
links,
mention it.
but there's a bunch of new stuff in the crown store as with every month, so you can check that out. But we got a lot of important stuff to talk about, mainly from PAX East and BethesdaGameDays by Lotus, because he was there, and I'm so not jealous. Obviously, definitely 100%. But before that, just to let everybody know that there is a celebration event going on because it's the 50 years of Elder Scrolls Online, and there's a 5-week-long anniversary event, which you get these anniversary boxes. It's a long event. There's a bunch of things, which we will drop the link in the description below as well, or in chat. Actually, I'm gonna drop it in chat as well now. The reason I'm going through this fast is that I really want to hear about PAX East stuff myself, because I haven't heard it from Lotus yet. So I am excited to hear it myself, so I'm just going to skip the rest of the news.
All right. So this is kind of just going to be a chunk of my tales, which will streamline things later on. So to anybody I got to meet at Bethesda Game Days, some of you are actually in chat, like Swampy and stuff like that, it was an absolute pleasure. That event, I said it last year, and I tweeted about it this year, that PAX East is great. There's no reason to go to PAX East when Bethesda's having game days, because it's so much better than anything that I went to at PAX East. That's not really so much supposed to be a dig at PAX East, so much as how well Bethesda puts on an event. So last year it was 1 day. This year it was 2 days. I intended to just mainly go on Saturday, and I went briefly over because I wanted to see the 25 years of Elder Scrolls panel with Todd Howard, who I don't think he likes crowds, because he looked like he was ready to jump off the stage the second that thing ended. He was out of that building so fast. Which I don't blame him. I mean, you're constantly like under scrutiny, but then also people like you know what I mean? It's gotta be awkward. But like everybody else chilled there. He looked like he was kind of like good with the whole like, okay, this was a lot of fun. He got to like, chat with some people, but then he was kind of good to go. So I did not get to meet him. But that being said, I assume most of you probably watched the live stream or whatever. The actual event itself, the devs from most of their games in question, they had Rage 2, they had Legends, they had Elder Scrolls Online, obviously, and then they had some representatives from Blades, but when I was talking to them, they weren't the devs, they were kind of like the marketing team just there for it. Mm-hmm. So they rented out 2 bars this time, which I actually didn't know until I was there. It was the same venue as last year, which was Laugh Boston, which was the main stage, which you guys got to see the actual live stream from. And then they had the Rage booth set up, and there was a bar, and there was food. And then I forget the name of the place, actually, that was adjoined to it. But that entire side was Elder Scrolls. It was just like an Elder Scrolls celebration on that side. They had a giant wall set up where they had Elder Scrolls 1 through 5 set up on working computers, so you could play any of them in the series. Ooh, wow.
How did they get Arena to work?
It sure did. For better or worse, I guess. Arena was rough to play. Sorry, my dog came to say hello. Thank you. So Arena, rough. I understand why it's kind of sort of a black sheep of the series, I guess. I'm sure it was very technically impressive for the time, but oh my lord, that was hard to go back to. Daggerfall, not necessarily easier to go back to.
Someone popped the beer. I heard it.
No, it was my Red Bull. I did it. My wife brought it in with the dog because the dog, none of not saying hello. So Boots says hi to everybody from Tales because she's bumping into my leg. So Daggerfall, I'm excited to actually try this summer. I was talking to some people online about it. That game looks super intense. Then there's the 3 that everybody knows. It was neat to just see them all next to each other, mainly because you could see the visual difference from one to the next to the next to the next. And then next to those was the Elsewhere preview, which me and some people got to try Elsewhere. The Necromancer seems very cool, very interesting from what I saw. We were allowed to mess with it for a decent bit. And we found ourselves on their network and friended each other, formed a group, killed a world boss with level 5 necromancers. Then, to most of the staff's surprise, and I believe Mike Finnegan's statement was, "Are you in Sunspire?" Because we found our way into the trial, just 3 of us, with our level 5 necromancers. And I would like to say that I survived for about 58 seconds or so, and I killed one whole trash mob. And then we were killed. But the region looks really cool. It's kind of... I mean, you've probably heard all the stuff that they've been hyping with it. Think of Reaper's March, except done by the beautiful art teams now that have done Vardenfell, Hrothgar, and Somerset, where the visual fidelity's gone up so much. It's basically if that team was doing the vanilla version of Reaper's March. So it is gorgeous, but it holds that Savannah vibe. Was at least the upper portion of the map that we were in, all the way to the middle, where we're like, let's go kill a boss. So it's very Savannah-ish. So with the event itself, not to make people feel bad or whatever, but the event itself was fully catered, which if you're able to go next year, I strongly suggest you go to this thing. We were given... On day 1, we were provided lobster roll sliders, lobster mac and cheese, short rib mac and cheese.
Wow.
And then that was the lunch buffet, so to speak. And then once dinner rolled around, they ordered us Chinese food. So there was a Chinese food buffet. The following day, they had a Mexican taco basically set up, so you could have quesadillas, you could make your own taco. Like, they go all out with their food.
Yeah.
The drinks, you're allowed several drinks just on the house, and they made special drinks based on the event. Like for Fallout 76, there was Blood Tick margaritas, which were my favorite or whatever. But they all had some thing. It was Dark and Storm Atronaki, and it was like a Dark and Stormy or whatever. So they definitely had fun with it, and they really went all this thing.
People are gonna witch hunt you down after we all telling all this, and people will be like, "I'm not jealous. Lotus must die."
Well, that's why, I want to encourage people, if you get the chance, you don't need PAX East tickets to get in. It's literally free admission. They just let you in. Yeah. All you got to do is sit through the line, which, FYI, get there early, because it gets... people quickly find out how much fun it is, and then the line, literally surrounds the building because it gets so insane. But... they don't charge you. It's just, oh my god, yes! Oh man. Yes.
I'm a fan.
Yes, extra guars and mud crabs.
Yep, extra guars and mud crabs.
I mean, you guys are not seeing what I've been doing on camera too.
No, I've been watching.
I've been looking.
Yeah, I've got the stream up. Trust me, you're not escaping. But yeah, so mainly the thing I can tell you guys, I mean, I know if you don't live in the area, it's tough. These things are tough to go to. But if there's any way you can find a way to the area just for this, it's totally worth it. Dr. Huda in chat mentioned, do I think it'll be a free event next year? So I said there's no way that it could possibly be a free event after last year, because I was blown away by what they were giving me compared to me paying $60 to go to PAX. And I'm like, what the hell? This is better. So then this year, it was 2 days of a free event. So I guess so. Like, I guess they're just okay with this. Like,
I will be there.
And they give you, I mean, you get a free shirt. I don't know where the hell my free shirt is. They had specialty Maik skooma drinks. They were giving out.
Do not drink that.
The coveted coins that they always have. They have special elsewhere-based coins. You've probably seen Rich Lambert and some people tweeting about them. Those things are very cool. They are not chintzy. They're in. I mean, that is a straight up like.
Yep.
Heavy ass.
I have the other ones. I have the Morrowind one and the Somerset one. No, like, let's put it this way. If you dropped it from a roof and it hit a car, it would legitly go through like the windshield.
Yeah, that thing probably weighs more than the Wrathstone. Like, that thing is heavy. It's
legitly, if you've ever had one of the old 50-cent pieces if you're in the US, like, yeah, Promethean, you're a little young to see those. Okay,
my grandpa had them, and I think I have one somewhere that was like given to me.
They're legitly that heavy. Yeah, they're crazy heavy.
Yes. So I do think it will be free next year as well, would be my guess. And the only personal thing that I want to mention at the end, like I said, it was very flattering to all of you who came up and said hello to me. That was very nice. It's a little awkward because all I am is a dude that talks about playing a game as opposed to somebody who works on these games and does a lot of hard work and actual stuff. But that was very flattering of all of you that I got to meet. And the one thing that I got to fanboy out slightly, I did get to meet the Elder memes and be in an Elder meme, which was very entertaining. Also, shout out to Elder memes for screaming kind of like a girl when they announced, when they were reading the questions and they read yours. Because you might hear kind of like a high-pitched gasp. That would be him because he was so excited. But during the event, and I just made a general tweet of, me with a plate of lobster mac and cheese and some lobster sliders saying, this is really where you should be. I got followed by Bethesda on Twitter, which was kind of funny. And I was like, oh, that's just great. So I got to fanboy out a little bit too, that they got to acknowledge one of my things.
What's actually fascinating when you say that, because when Nate and I went to the Bethesda after party they had after the War Child UK, I actually had a couple come up to me and actually be like, "Are you Aggelos?" I'm like, "Yeah." This show is heard over here, other than by Nate.
Right, and that was the thing where I was like, that is unbelievably flattering. But I was like, look, if there's anybody, I got to be pretty far down on the list here. But like, I greatly enjoy getting to meet people who actually listen to the show and stuff. That was really cool. Because so many of you,
you should. If you're a listener and you ever see any one of us out in the world, please come up and say something, because you have no idea how much that actually means that someone listens to the show. Like, I know we were watching all the people here in chat, but it's something different when someone in real life comes up to you like, "Hey, have you?" I'm like, oh. Yeah, I think the first time it happened, I think I had to stutter like, yeah, I'm normally more eloquent than this, but I was so shocked that it actually happened.
No, it was. So it was just as much my pleasure getting to meet all the people I did. Swampy Unseen Cat. There were so many. There were so many of just like it was pretty great. So hopefully next year. I mean, I live very close to this region, so what do you call it? I'll be able to. I this is the one thing I pretty much get to go to. So let me know if they do this next year. Let me know, because I'll be glad to say hello when I'm there again, ideally. Yeah, and Disturbed Vet, I appreciate that you're gonna fanboy out, being that you were in my wedding. That doesn't count. So we might have met once or twice already, just saying. But yeah, so that's kind of the big thing, all the fun stuff that I at least got to be part of at Bethesda Game Days. Huge shout out to Rich Lambert and everybody on the ZOS team that was there as well for taking that picture with me for the behalf of the show and giving me the extra coins so that I could give to the rest of the cast after this.
And they are going to the cast. They're not sitting on eBay.
Yeah,
we really do. The three of us who were not there greatly appreciate it. It'll go up on my wall. When it gets, I will legitly take a picture and post it for the ZOS so they can see it laying right there on my
going to other
ESO shelf.
Yep. So
Speak for yourself.
eBay
my master plan. Yep. Send
Do you
it
know,
overseas
with the
to me,
conversion
7,000
rate-
miles so I can eBay it.
Okay, do you know with the conversion rate, I can be rich. Just here, but rich.
Have you guys ever watched Euro Trip before?
No.
Yes.
Only thing I think of as Euro Trip is when they get stranded in like Lithuania or one of those they're like Eastern Europe. And they're like, great, we have no money, we're stuck in Eastern Europe. How are we ever going to get back to they're trying to get to Germany? And they're like, well, hold on, I keep some money in my shoe. And it comes out, he's like, great, we have $1.34. What are we going to get with that? And then they're like in this massive 5-star hotel, getting pampered. They're like, gotta love that exchange rate. He's after they were done, the butler or whatever came up to him, handed him something. He's like, here you go, toss him a nickel. And he's like, a nickel? Turns around, slaps the proprietor of the hotel. I start my own hotel.
I actually remember that.
It's a thing.
So yes, that's my review of how awesome Bethesda Game Days is. Please come next year.
I'll be there.
So,
Hell or high water, I will be there.
Yeah.
Hey, Ark,
Yeah.
you have a request from Vaughn Jamison. Our 7-year-old wants to see the Griffin again, so
hold on. Yep.
do that. You got to do what we
There
got to
you
do
go.
for the fans, man.
Yep.
That's all I'm
This
saying.
is the Griffin plushie.
I like the little Griffin plushie.
I actually do too. I kind of want
Yeah.
one.
I wish you could buy the plushes. I wish they
Easier?
were.
I
Just,
think you can.
Yes.
You can.
Yeah.
You can. I'm
you
sorry.
can.
I wish you
I
could
wish
just
you
buy
could get
them
them.
off Bethesda or something like that.
Yeah, they're very hard to come by.
Aren't they on the Bethesda store?
No.
They used
They
to
only
be.
are there briefly, and then they're
Oh.
yeah, they are right when they first launch, and then they basically don't. The one
Yeah.
place that I found, because everybody's got pets, so after somebody else starts talking, I'm going to go grab mine just to have them be on stream along with everybody else. I actually got mine. Well, 2 of mine I got from the Morrowind reveal at PAX East.
Yeah.
I got the 2 pets that I use in game after getting to play my version or getting to first get my hands on Battlegrounds. And they had like a little giveaway booth. And I happened to get the thing where ironically, the Guar, which I had for a pet or for a mount, and the Betty Netch, which I use as a pet. So I was like, oh, cool. I got the versions of both of those I really use. So
Very nice.
This mud crab's really comfortable. I think I'm going to keep him on my head for every show going forward.
Right?
How do
I
you
like
keep
it.
it balanced like that? I tried. Mine falls off.
he's very even.
It's what
But
happens when you're bald and beautiful.
I was
I
going
can't
to
move.
point out the lack of hair there, and there's a hair difference. That's,
I have no problem. I love the bald look now that I'm like, hey.
I have
I
to
didn't think I'd
stand
like it, but
perfectly
it's like-
still. Otherwise,
Either
it
that or I
drops.
just have an oddly misshaped head with lots of divots and stuff, and it creates
And it
this,
just- Sets.
just sits there,
Oh.
digs its little claws into the extra little divots, and then we're all right. Yeah.
Oh man.
Shout out to Blood Eye ESO in chat for joining us. Thank you
Oh,
so much.
hello.
For those who don't know, Blood Eye she's an amazing lady, part of our community. She's been with us for so long. Love her
Yeah.
to death. So thank you so much, guys.
Lotus,
Man.
I got a question.
Sure.
Did you get a chance to try out any dragon fight?
Okay. I The only dragon I got to see was the one in the trial, which Finn assured us was not balanced properly because people were not supposed to be in the trial. So he was like, even if you were capable of doing this, he's like, this build is, I believe he said it was at least 3 weeks old. So he's like, these are not balanced at all. So if this thing just blind one-shots you through scenery, that's not our fault. That's not what we're doing right now. So I got to see it in the trial, but not fight it. The only other thing that we did get to see, which I don't know if they've talked much about it, but so Dark Anchors, they're predetermined. The Abyssal Geysers are also like pre-placed on the map.
Yep.
The dragons are apparently on the like if you bring up your world map or your map for the region, there will be dragon symbols moving around the map, and you can track them and pull them down to engage the fights.
Oh.
Yeah, they're not static locations, I guess.
I did see that. I think it was from Casual Ranger. I think he tweeted that, and that's the only reason I knew that. But I wasn't anything from.
Yeah. Okay. So I wasn't sure, like, but that's like maybe the only useful information I have in the dragon department. I saw what they looked like on the map, but I mean, we didn't get to find them or anything like that. But apparently, you can chase them. I believe Finn made the reference to. Have any of you seen the movie Twister, where they're chasing? Yeah. Think of that. Yeah.
Another cow.
Yeah. Think of that, only you're chasing dragons to try to draw them down.
Yeah, I think
that could be very cool.
Yeah, Casual Ranger was saying, I think, that they're not easy either. Like, I think he said it took almost all of them to actually kill the dragon.
Yes, I've heard that they are pretty brutal.
Yeah. They're not meant to be soloable.
I specifically asked him, and he said, like, we had a skilled group of 12 and a lot of us still died.
Yeah.
And apparently they tried to duo it, like kill a dragon with Kevduit, and they failed. So if Kevduit can't solo it, I'd say good enough.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't have that one. That's cheating.
Yep, he's the only one that seems different from most people.
Yeah.
So now I'm surrounded by plush pets.
Love it.
Yep.
Yeah, my desk
Promethean,
is
you got to break
now.
down, start buying some of these. You got to
I
join the
want
party.
them. I know. I can go get my lithograph and show that off.
Yeah, just put that behind you.
I'll just lay it on the couch. I can't get it. If everybody wants to see it, I can grab it.
That thing looks gorgeous.
You should.
I'm going to go grab it. I'm going to grab it. All right.
Yeah. Show the lithograph.
Yeah. That's worthy of being shown. This is silly. That's beautiful. So
yeah, I was going to say that's actual artwork. These are stuffed and ridiculous.
I wouldn't say
my dog does. Well, my dog doesn't. I don't know if he thinks or she thinks that the Betty Netch is a threat, because she'll sit next to it and then she'll just bite his squishy bits. So.
I mean, to be fair, the mud crab when I first got it out kind of reminds me of a big tick, and I'm like, oh, okay, it's okay, we're good now. But might have thought it was a tick. It's a thing.
Oh man, that little graph
that is sweet.
Yeah.
Love it. You need to frame it immediately.
I'm trying. I haven't had a chance. All I have are big bills, and I don't want to go to the store just to get like a little frame and have them break a big bill. So this is the lithograph. It's kind of hard to put it on there because
it's
massive.
Beautiful.
In the corner, my little favorite thing is in the corner. It tells which number it is out of the 300.
Oh,
what number do you?
I have 293 of 300.
That's super cool.
293. Wait, so you almost missed it then?
Okay, so that's what I was talking about earlier with Sin or Sinister. He's in chat. Is I don't know. I just think I got like the copy 293. I don't know if I was like order 293.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, maybe.
I'm curious how that is. I wonder if that's how. Because you had some issues with it being sent out because of the. I wonder if that happened to just be because you were later in the line, so maybe you did get in just before the cutoff.
I don't know. Maybe. So the other thing this is old, like really old. As far as like the physical stuff that you can get, that's not you can't get it anymore. I got the collection of books that you could get like when the game launched. I had them before the game even came out on console. It's got, I don't even know. There's like an alchemy guide. There were like 10,000 of them made, and
I got one of those. Yeah. I actually have one of those. The big it comes in a big container, and you open it up.
Yep, and it has the 3 books.
That has the paper book that literally, I love that. It's sitting up in my shelf.
Yeah, so I also have that. So I'm a big fan of these limited edition. There's only so many. I don't know, they just hold a little special place because I'm among that select group or whatever. But yeah, I'm really excited.
Elitism at its finest, right?
A little bit. Yeah. I am really excited to get this framed. It's actually going to go right up over there behind me. So you'll all be able to see it every stream. So
love it.
Man, nice.
Yeah.
You need to get one of those, like a frame that actually fits the scene, like a wood carved frame or something, so it fits Elder Scrolls.
I should I'm toying around the idea of getting it like professionally framed at like Joann's or something.
Yeah, I think it'd look awesome. Like
there's only 300 of them, man. It's worth it.
The one piece that one of my guild members made me, and I showed it off on stream before. It's back at my mom's, and I should bring it here too. Is my piece of Nocturnal that and I got that one professionally framed at Joann's, and it looks amazing.
The shadow thing.
Yeah, it's like the canvas print with her shadow. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. That thing's really cool.
Yeah. So they'll probably go right there next to each other, and I'll look like a true nerd at that point. But
worth it.
Totally. So yeah, I'm super excited this came today. So
I would. It actually came today?
Well, okay. I didn't check no, it must have, or it came later yesterday because it wasn't there when I left yesterday. So
it's still for your 200th episode. Essentially, this is like the first time you're looking at it. So that's awesome.
Yes, today was the first time I opened it up. So
nice. Yep. I still love my Tamriel cookbook that they sent me. The Inside Edition guys sent me. It's beautiful. I actually
have you made anything from it?
No, my wife went away, and then we didn't get a chance to do it yet. Well, because really I got excited. I filmed it, and then I'm like, we got to do something. She's like, well, I'm going to visit my mom's this week, and we just never got a chance to. And then afterwards, obviously, for those of you who do know, I had a death in the family, and it just never got around to doing it yet. So
I do want to make one of the meads. Like, I'm under. Side note: I'm not old enough to legally buy alcohol, but I can make. I'm really excited to try and make my own with the recipes in there.
Wait, is that a loophole?
I actually make my own mead anyway. So
I just can't. So the way that you make it with the yeast and everything. So I can make it. It's just kind of
you could
legally cannot buy it. Yes,
you could buy the yeast. You could buy everything you need to make it, but you can
make it. I just can't go out and buy like a prepackaged. Yeah.
So it doesn't matter. It takes a few months for it to actually ferment anyway, so you might even be old enough by the time it's done.
I am very excited though to make some. There's some really cool recipes in there, and I can't not wait to try them.
I want to actually have an Elder Scrolls dinner party, and actually make everything look like a medieval tavern, and then cook all the stuff from.
That would be so cool.
Indeed. That's what I want to do. Like that entire thing, like the Eredor cheese and apples thing, the dessert. Oh, that looks so freaking good.
Yeah.
Did you actually have the cookbook?
I do. Yep.
Yeah, look at the Eredor cheese and apple recipe. Oh my goodness, you're going to be like, I need to have this right now in my life.
I'm also, this is very real life, but I'm a vegetarian, and I really appreciated the back of it. If you go way to the back, there's a table that tells you what's vegetarian and what you can easily make vegetarian or vegan or gluten-free and whatever. And
nice.
Wow.
As someone who has that diet restriction. Yeah, it's really awesome.
See, that's good thinking right there. That man, I love when people think these things through. But... I'm not either, but these things, you gotta think through,
For sure.
Right. Oh, that cookbook though, it was totally worth. If you're gonna buy it, I can honestly say, do it.
Yes.
Especially, it's so well laid out. It's pretty, and so many of the recipes that you would never thought would have been in the cookbooks, they found a way to make a real life because in Skyrim the Eredor cheese is a mammoth cheese. It's like, what am I gonna get there? Well, they figured it out.
So does the sweet roll like are they molds? Well,
I got molds. There are molds you can use.
Can you buy them as well, or are those just collector's edition?
No. You could buy them from any bakery store. Like the molds that I got aren't specifically Elder Scrolls related. You could literally get them anywhere. It's actually a common cake mold.
Yeah, I don't know why I just thought they were like specific sweet. Like, yeah, that makes sense.
I'm so excited for that book. But yeah, full dinner party. Everyone has to dress up like cosplay in like Skyrim outfits. Yeah, that's gonna happen. So.
Yeah, I'll join with Skype and just have a kebab here, you know.
Oh my goodness.
So, yeah, that's I suppose, our news for this week.
Oh.
Yeah. We did, by the way, have a lot of like giveaways on Twitter as our celebration week. However, because the time was short, I didn't get through everything I have yet. So keep following our Twitter for more giveaways, because I still have some stuff to give.
I do want to highlight this one last thing from our buddy Crojack. He's a co-host on our other show. He goes, 200 episodes. Who on earth does a podcast past like 15 episodes? Don't they all fail? To be really funny, I felt like I should probably mention this one right off the bat, because Tales of Tamriel, when we started, like unlike our From the Ashes show, which is for Ashes, we were the very first podcast out there because I had jumped on podcasting. We were like the 8th podcast for Ashes or for ESO when it came out. And when ESO launched, there were like 23 podcasts. There were like legitly
even I made one.
Yeah,
I have a like 2 episode podcast out there somewhere that I'm not sharing with anyone.
But there like legitly are these podcasts that are out there now. And then somewhere around I don't remember when it happened. It literally for the past almost 4 years, it was down to 2 of us. Elder Scrolls Off the Record and Tales of Tamriel. Now, thankfully, we are being joined again by some amazing people. But for the longest time, it was just 2 podcasts for ESO. So,
Yep.
It's an achievement. There's so few podcasts actually make it to 100. So few make it to 50. They pod fade out, which is the term we use for when they just stop doing episodes. They don't do like a finale, like this is our last episode. See you later, everybody. No. Those ones are actually marked as finished. They just disappear. So, yeah, the dedication of the co-host, and not just me, but the actual co-host who have been with me since the start, as well as the dedication of the fans that keep us doing this. If no one listened, it can be somewhat disheartening when you do a show and it's like, wow, did anyone even care? But the fan base is so amazing for the Elder Scrolls. They kept us going through a very long period because it's like, we don't want to disappoint the fans. We love you guys. You're amazing. You let us know when you listen. It's so cool.
Yeah.
I remember like some ups and downs when I was a listener as well, but I'm glad you guys pushed through,
Oh, and it's all because of you fans. I mean, because game development, some things we're not real happy about with ZeniMax. I mean, me personally, probably more than some other people, but
but even still, I mean, you weren't not. I mean, just because there was a large portion, it wasn't even a vocal minority. Crown Crates first showed up. I mean, that was pretty divisive amongst a lot of people. Like, some people don't care or were in favor of them. But I mean, that was not... Some things it's like, oh, I don't like this or I don't like that. That was a big controversy for a lot of people. And I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I mean, it's whatever to me personally, but they've stayed as much in I feel acceptable territory with that stuff. Because even, I mean, there was the one time that I was opposed to them. Remember when Somerset was dropping and they were going to put the parts of the pages of the Pandanian motif in?
They did.
Yeah. And I was like, wow, that's not cool if there's no other way. And it took them, I think it was like a week later, they were like, okay, they're in there, but you can also get them from fishing. And I'm like, that's the, like, that's great.
As long as there's a way of getting them. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, I don't know why this made me think of it, but just, this is super out of left field. Sorry. Ag.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know, there is finally a mount in the game.
Yes, I was actually going to say they're getting better and better about.
Yeah.
If you can beat all the challenges in Sunspire, you're gifted a mount.
Yeah.
Nice.
And that's what I was saying. They took our feedback, and I know they're still business. And for people who aren't MMO fans first, maybe it's not a huge deal to you, but those of you who've been playing for a while, it was probably more of a divisive thing than not. Again, I understand it's not everyone, because if you weren't really an MMO fan to begin with, maybe it's not that huge of a deal to you now. But it was a big deal to a lot of us, because it's like, hey, this just isn't cool. But they started getting better when we started complaining, like, you've never put any rewards, cosmetic rewards in there for people who actually do hard stuff. They're getting better. They started adding more skins, more pets in the game. The pets from having to put together all the pieces from public dungeons, beautiful step. And now we're getting a mount in. Well, technically, the second mount you can earn in game, because the first one was the Indrik.
The Indrik, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right.
So they're definitely getting better.
Yes. Yep.
Even from an old school MMO player, they're getting way better, and I applaud them for that.
I mean, I will never get that Sunspire mount. But it makes me happy that it's there.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
How ironic would it be that the Sexplar is like the total way to cheese the trial or something ridiculous?
That would be so fun. I've noticed this week, this is part of my tales, so I'll skip it later. I've been working on doing skin runs and things to try and get some of the skins, because that's something that I would like to have for my characters, and just, it's a fun challenge. However, that challenge is disappearing. They are making all of the dungeons easier in order to get these skins. And like, it's kind of disheartening for me. And like, I would assume, Lotus, that would be upsetting for you. I appreciate it. Like, it is, there are some of them I'm like, oh, this is cool that I'm able to now do this and have a better shot of it. But I ran Mazatoon the other night and almost had a no death. Like, and it was nothing.
Arkhaniir,
yeah.
all the pictures posted in Elder Scrolls channel, we're gonna have to do something with. Vaughn Jameson has been amazing taking all these images. We need to have this in like a slideshow or something cool.
No, I've been noticing those on my Discord.
Is it DCN Discord?
The DCN Discord in our Elder Scrolls channel. He's been taking green caps of us with all of our stuff
with the ridiculous hats. Mm-hmm.
It needs to happen.
Just on the note of that, like, we ran a quick White Gold Tower, which, again, White Gold Tower is fine or whatever, but people get hung up on the inhibitor pinion, and that usually causes some type of issue. So we beat the inhibitor pinion without me self-healing, period, and we did it without a healer. It literally can't even do enough damage to me to drop my health below 95%. And I was like, that's a little too much. Like, the nerf on that one, I was like, that's a little too heavy-handed. Like,
right. They did that with Zalnir and Mazatoon. The Swamp Spice doesn't slow you, and there's no trolls, and that just makes the fight a piece of cake.
Oh, I guess I haven't done... Yeah, so it's like, I do appreciate them. It's not that I'm opposed to them being easier, but some of them I feel like if they maybe just fix a bit of something, that might be enough. Like, more so than necessarily toning them down. Like, the inhibitor pinion thing, you can now activate it super, super fast. To like trade aggro. That seems like that would have been enough. Yeah, like just take that time. Like, that seems like that would be enough of a quote unquote nerf, because then it's like you could trade it quicker and not have the delay. But then they also did the other thing, so it's like, ooh, okay, that's a little heavy handed on the easiness. But you know, I guess they have the analytics to show stuff. So
yeah, I mean, it is definitely making it more accessible.
Though. After doing Ratstone dungeons, I've realized, like, yes, the veteran dungeons are getting nerfed, some of them, but the difference between the hard mode and the veteran, I feel like, has increased, because veteran Depths of Malatar final boss, not a huge problem unless you, like, get distracted and get one shot by a wall of Meridia, whatever, or veteran Frostvault final boss, very easy. But hard mode Frostvault final boss is... I couldn't do it. We couldn't do it with our Drunkenborns group. Given our healer is still farming and leveling, but like still, the damage difference, like instantly it starts dealing so much damage. I can barely keep myself healed up. Let alone doing this without a heal. I mean, with a healer, I can barely stay alive in hard mode Frostvault and hard mode Depths of Malatar. So I feel like what they are doing is increasing the gap of hard mode difficulty.
Which I could deal with that, I guess.
Yeah, I would be happy with that. Yeah, I'm totally fine with that.
Right, because as is, normal does not prep you for a lot of vets. Like,
no.
Which I always feel is very jarring, especially, like, dungeons, yes, trials specifically. It's like, what is even the point of, like... Well, I mean, I know what the point is. Like, you have story mode, which I think is an awesome idea for people who that's not their thing, but they want to, you know, be involved with the stories to them. But it gives you very minimal challenge. And then vet mode for a lot of these things is like way, way hard. Yeah. And then vet hard mode is just like crushing to most people. It's just like, okay, like I always joke that the only thing normal Maelstrom teaches you about VMA is what the arena names are and nothing. Because you don't get anything. You like, okay, this is going to happen. It's like I just got hit by the first mob. He shot me with one arrow and did 42,000 damage. Like, what? So,
yeah, that's my gripe about that. I appreciate it's more accessible, but it's more like a retroactive thing, I guess, too. Like, Ratstone dungeons are considerably I mean, I don't know. They are harder. They're nerfing the old ones to make those easier, and then the new ones seem harder.
Yeah, that's how I feel like,
they're making the newest content the hardest content, and then they let people access it later.
Yeah.
I would have preferred if the skins stayed as like full achievement thing though, or if we gotten something for the full edge, because
other than just a title.
Yeah, that was the thing with the skin. Like, if you were wearing that skin, I would be like telling people without actually saying anything that, look, I'm capable of doing this. I've did this. I've done this no death hard mode. I have some of them, I think.
I think.
See, my main problem is...
You know, if you were playing a Sexplar, it wouldn't be 200 episodes if I didn't bring up Sexplar, Ark. You know this.
My main problem is I can't do no deaths. Not because I die during the boss, but because I die by falling off the edges, or like during a trash pull, I am minimize the game.
I think you've done that with us a few times. We were running stuff together. It's like, we're almost at just fell off.
So, if they wanted to modify one thing to make it easier, which I would actually like, from a selfish standpoint, make the no deaths individual. Like, you can't die. Not because, you know, I understand I happen to play a character that's very survivable, that's my goal. But I'm not going to lie, the amount of times I don't die in a dungeon, it's like, okay, can I have my title, please? Like,
Back in World of Warcraft, when we were playing, there was an achievement called the Undying, which was playing next one of their raids and not dying any of your raid members to finish the entire thing. We had been working on this forever. Essentially, we had a guy. I won't give his name. You know, I doubt he listens or anything like that, but I won't give his name. But he always died. He was essentially our Ark. And we were dying.
Wow.
Like, we would get all the way to the end. He would always die. And they removed this achievement because it was something that it was only valid during the when it was live content, because you know how they do stuff similar to new dungeons. Anyway, I think I went on a date with my wife, and I still give her problems about this. They went in, and he apparently wasn't there, so they pulled in a pug, and they got the Undying achievement.
Oh, God.
I never got it because, of course, then, you know, it was only like 2 or 3 weeks before the new raid tier would came out. Yeah, so I never got the Undying. So my best friend in the world still has the Undying. That's always his title in WoW, and it pisses me off because I'm like, all the rest of us were good enough to do this. We had one guy who just so happened to not be there the same week that I went out on a date with my wife, and you pull in 2 pugs who did it. Are you kidding me right now? We've been working on this for months. Oh, I'm still angry about that. So yeah, that personal Undying thing. Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
Yeah, and I mean, the thing is, like, to a degree, like, I mean, I get it. Some tailored to living than others. So, like, I mean, that is somewhat of a selfish standpoint on my end. But just like that person can specifically play safe or whatever if somebody's going for it, like, as opposed to everybody. If things get laggy, somebody could, like, you know, hide, do whatever to try to save their thing. I feel like that would just eliminate some frustration to it. And one of the things that was actually brought up and kind of like mentioned in chat in between all those sick burns to Ark was the fact that, like, even with your story, sometimes it could just be a team clicks together, or each individual person could be good. I still joke, and I mean, people, one of the things I joke about is you could have replaced literally any single person on my veteran Mav Lorkaj team, because essentially we were all 12 of us carried because the 11 other people didn't need us. Like 11 of us, any 11 of us were fine at beating that. The 12th was just a bonus. So I'm like, well, I carried just as much as I got carried because, like, those DPS, they were incredible. The other tank was a beast. The 2 healers were super on point. Okay, well, you could have just interchanged me with any other tank. You could have interchanged that other tank with any... Like, we were all just as good, but also just as interchangeable.
Right.
Whereas you got Maelstrom, and that's always what I'm like, that's just you.
Yeah.
It's you, and if you screw up, it's your fault. Like, there is no getting carried in that. So,
right.
I always feel that's kind of like a good bullet point for, like, how sadistic are you?
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, I did finish both Ratstone dungeons on veteran with pugs, so I guess I am a bit... Wait, no, not sadistic, but what's the opposite?
Lucky?
Yeah, kind of.
No, the
it's
opposite.
kind of a form of punishment that you...
Yeah, I am a changed man after that. I'm not the same. I've seen things.
I've seen things, man.
I've seen pugs, man.
I've seen pugs, man.
I did have a really great pug group the other day, so I cannot bash them. Because it was amazing.
It's the people that you get, not the idea behind it. But the problem is, just like with stereotypes, more often than not, when you pug, it's 95% of the time not great.
Actually, I made a solid experiment, and I think this is correct. So basically, I ran Frostvolt's for Frostvolt's Vault Protector boss for 8 hours with pugs.
Yeah, that was
5 hours on one sting and another 3-4 hours on another sitting. We could not get through it. Then I did the same, but when Frostvault was the pledge, it took us like 2 tries to get through Vault Protector, and we just smashed the final boss.
Mm-hmm.
Then I did the same with Depths of Malatar. I ran the Depths of Malatar with pugs, and it was like, oh my god, what is going on? And then I ran Depths of Malatar when it was the pledge, and it actually went smoother than our Drunkenborn's guild team.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like when it's the pledge, if you pug, you are
You have a better
it's a
chance.
lot more likely that you will complete the dungeon. But if it's not the pledge,
You never know what you're gonna get.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Well, you also have a wider range of players too. You have really skilled players who
Yeah.
are just trying to get their keys, right?
Right.
So you have a better chance of that
Grabbing one
versus
down.
the person who's doing it for the first time to do the story. That's what you get when it's not the pledge.
yeah.
Mhm.
Right.
But to be honest, the more like running it with people who actually are not skilled enough for it is more fun.
Oh, instead of just nuking through the mechanics.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
except from the hard mode, every other boss with a proper group is just too easy at this point.
For Malatar or Frostvault?
Both.
Both.
If you know what you're doing.
After
Except
I beat
from hard
Frostvault,
mode.
I said until it's corrected, I'm not going back in.
I still
but-
haven't beat.
Like, why?
Malatar.
What problem did you have in
I
Frostvault?
can't handle the laser grid thing until it works properly. I can't do it.
Oh, okay.
I-
but I mean, if it's
No,
buggy,
that
then
was
yeah,
my only
that's
gripe.
different,
Is
though.
because, like I
Yeah.
said, I think that will be a phenomenal thing. And I even talked to I mentioned it to Finn, and he was like, "No, we know we're trying to get whatever it is that's wrong with it corrected." That I don't mind being smashed into the ground because of difficulty. That's fine. That's it is what it is.
Mhm.
I have an issue when it's out of my control for something that I
Right.
can do.
I mean, on
and-
PC, it's kind of fixed, by the way. I
Is
don't
it
know
okay? So
consoles,
then
but-
maybe I should check and see if it.
Yeah. Last couple times I ran it, I didn't have any issues with any bugs. It was all
then-
working as intended.
Oh, if that's the case, that's fantastic because I would like to do more of that. But after doing it the first time, I mean, like I had said on the last episode where we talked about it, it's challenging in and of itself.
Yeah.
But I don't need this to not work right as well because that I can't control. Be the better or worse because, like I said, there was
Doesn't
one
matter
way-
how good you are, you can't break it when it's going to hit you all the time anyway.
Right. So that was really my complaint with that entire dungeon because otherwise I like that dungeon a lot. So
Yeah.
So, shall we go? I was gonna say we move on to Tales, but we kind of merged
kinda already
everything
did that.
together.
Yeah.
right.
So, Lotus, anything else you want to say from your Tales in hopes
So-
of getting back on track, maybe?
All right. So yes. Well. All right. So mostly my tales, the one nod to ESO specifically is I've been involved with everybody else in Apocalypse, where you just do writs on as many characters as humanly possible to get as many. It is the only time I use alts other than Arkhaniir. Like they all exist just for this anniversary event. So I have all of the characters running. I think I have 9. Yeah, I think it's 9.
Scrub.
What I know,
You don't have all 14.
I don't have all the expansion ones. So I run them all on that. Delta, who is in chat, graciously provided me my first 5 motifs for the thing because he has gotten pretty decent RNG, and I believe I did 157 writs before I actually got one single motif to drop.
Wait,
And I was like,
on this event?
yes, on this event.
How did you...
That is so many. There was a slight
Well,
trick.
think about it. It's,
No. I mean,
what,
I am
6
more...
or 7 writs per character times
Per
9,
character
36
times
a day.
9.
I
Yeah,
only do one character a day.
I am
That's
more
your real
confused
scrub.
about
I know.
how did you not get a motif from that many boxes?
I know it was because so.
How many
Delta,
gods did you piss?
I apparently all of them. It's the last time I complained about Frostfall. So yeah, he was doing the base math for me because after we were I was finishing up my last character on day 2, and I'm like, I still don't have one of these, and he's like, oh, I just got my 4th set of wraps. I'll just send them to you, and I'm just like, I don't have one. I don't have anything, and then I got 2 in my final writ box of the day. And I was like, I did it. I
Wow.
finally got something. So it was like, yeah, I don't know. My RNG is real off for this event so far. Yes.
The thing that people always seem to confuse, and it's just the idea of statistics in general and the law of averages. When people see a percentage and they're like, well, it's a 10%,
Yes.
that means within 10 I'll get it.
No.
That means you have a 1 in 10 chance
Yes.
of getting it, but it doesn't, it's not cumulative. It doesn't stack.
No. Theoretically, you could roll the whole event with zeros.
Yep.
It's
Yes,
incredibly
But I mean-
statistically unlikely, but
Yeah.
you could.
Even I got bunch of motifs. I've finished the Prophet style like 3 times, I think, and I only do writs on 4 characters. Lotus,
Nope,
you
I
must
have
have
not done
like.
great yet.
I mean, what did you do? Punched Hermamora in the like face or something?
I think he's on vacation, and I've been just like, I've been kicking some of the wrong gods where they shouldn't be kicked because it is not going well so far.
I don't think Herman Moore even has genitalia to kick. So
No, occasionally he has pinchers.
Ooh,
Could you like punch him in the eyes?
Eyes?
Yeah,
you can, yeah.
that you have a lot of targets
Poke
for.
in the eye thing. And then the bulk of what I've been doing, as anybody who communicates me on Twitter probably knows, that I've been kind of involved with a lot of people discussing the crap out of Elder Scrolls Blades.
Oh.
This is kind of a mixed positive negative thing, but this is my impressions. I've probably played around 8 hours of actual gameplay in it at this point. Positives to it so far. The graphics, I can't believe run on my iPhone 6S.
Oh, you have a
Side note.
6S? Oh, I only have a
Yes.
6. No wonder it doesn't work for me.
Oh, that'd be
Oh.
okay. I just bumped. That's the difference between. So I was going to say. Side note, I can't believe it runs on a 6S.
Yeah. I only have the original 6 yet.
Okay, so that's the thing. When I was at Bethesda Game Days and I was playing with it there, I was like, wow, this looks really good. I was like, what are the odds run really good 6S? And the dude laughed and he said, well, we don't recommend it, but it technically will work. And I was like, oh, he's like, I have a 7 and it runs fine. He's like, so I'm not super high end, but he's like, it works fine on mine. To this game's credit, this does not feel like early access. I can't believe how well this runs on my phone, and I am the bottom of the barrel specs. I have had 3 crashes in about 8 hours, which isn't really that bad. One of which was I was on Wi-Fi and disconnected from Wi-Fi while still playing. And I wonder if that kind of screwed with it. Yeah. Because when I booted back up, I got looped into this weird error where it said by the divines, what have you done? And it gave me a really long error code, which I thought was funny. But it kept doing it in the dungeon, and I realized I cleared the dungeon, and you can explore afterwards to make sure you didn't miss any chests or anything like that. It was stuck in the loop with the error because it kept thinking I was in the dungeon, but the dungeon was cleared. I found that was the reason. Oh. So if I just clicked to leave the dungeon, it immediately corrected itself. But I got the message like 40 times before I figured that out because I'm a slow learner. So like, but that was the biggest error I've had. I love the. Oof, that was. Please don't rip that on screen or I'll cry.
I know. I'm just trying to get to it.
Time to hide it.
Yeah,
it's gonna sit next to me for the stream.
I like saw Promethean reach towards it, and I was like, then I saw the kit, and then I was like, oh no.
What is it? The dungeon crawling is simple, and I think it's fun. Some people might think it's boring or whatever, but I mean, it's dungeon crawly. You collect loot to bring back, to craft, to get better stuff, to build towns, to open chests. All that stuff I like, and there's enough variety in the 3 different main modes that I think it's really fun for a phone game. Like, I don't want to sit there and play for 16 hours straight. Like, I like picking it up, playing for a lunch break, and then putting it down.
That's what you have to look at it. It's a phone. In the end, it's still a phone game. It's not. Yeah. It's not Skyrim. So
right, you're not going to waste an entire day and forget to sleep through a weekend because you Skyrim.
Yeah. Like, temper some expectations. That's all I'm saying.
So like, for what it is, I really enjoy it, and I even including Legends, which is really the only card game, or Fallout Shelter like that I goofed with. I'm surprised already. Like, I want to play it more. I really enjoy it. The final note that I really like about it is I believe Inon Zur is the guy who made music for it.
He is. We interviewed him.
Yes. Okay. So he did do. Okay.
Fantastic.
Holy crap! That music is amazing.
His very first live conducting was at War Child. He got called up while we were there to conduct the opening theme for it.
I love that theme.
That was the first time it had been put out.
It's like so. The opening theme is fantastic. The very subtle town music is fantastic. Sorry, I'm musicking out because even the dungeon music. There. Oh, did I cut out?
Yeah.
Sorry. So yeah, just what I was saying is the music is phenomenal. Title music, town music, even the dungeon music is just like, it's very subtle, but it's really good. And I mean, I don't make any
shameless plug.
Yeah.
But if you have not, I fully recommend going back and listening to which episode was it? Episode
is in the fall.
It was. I'm trying to look for it. End of Luck of Fallout.
In the meantime,
Inon Zur 184. Go back and listen to episode 184 of our show. It was mostly focused on Fallout 76 because that's what we were allowed to talk about. But we weren't actually allowed to talk about the Blades thing until that night was when he at the War Child, where it was like, yeah, by the way, he also is doing Blades. Like, But Inon Zur is an amazing composer, such a cool gentleman. I'm so glad I got a chance to meet him. Go back and listen to it. It's really good.
Yeah, and I mean, I like his work on Fallout. Like, I like Fallout soundtracks, and that's what he's always done. And his transition to this Elder Scrolls game, I mean, I love Jeremy Soule as well, and his work, it's incredible. But it's like, he's also done a very good job, Zur, with this, because I love it, like the music wise.
It's so good.
So that's the positive to it. There's been a lot of blowback to the game as well. Besides it, having, I believe it's 1 million downloads already, and it's like the number one thing on the App Store or whatever. It's like murdering, but the only thing that it is getting blowback on, and I sort of kind of agree in a sense.
You can agree. I mean, it's true. It's common knowledge out there of some of the issues that it's.
Well, no, and some of it I have to agree with because I've experienced it. Others, I'm taking people that I trust word on it, and I'm closing in on the thing where I can decide for myself. The silver chest thing with them building up, you get them faster than you can unlock them. As it was mentioned in chat, I like to play it as a phone game. So I play for a while, I build up some chests, I just set them to unlock, and I just pop them open while I'm at work. If you do that, you can pretty much chew through them without spending it, and that's fine. There is apparently a difficulty spike to which it becomes very pay to win, I've been told, later on in the game. Casual Ranger, who everybody knows how positive he is on things, he seemed pretty crushed that he just basically was stalemated by the game at one point.
It's a fairly common trend with mobile games.
Yeah,
exactly.
I'll tell you this one. It's sort of a story that kind of aligns with you. I'm playing a game right now on my phone called Assassin's Creed Rebellion. And it uses a similar thing. You could play totally free, but once you hit a certain level, it takes so much to level your guys, to get better gear, that you essentially slow, like the first few levels, like this is entertaining. You're really going through, but it slows down so exponentially. You have to grind so many old missions. It's so time gated that it really forces you to go, yeah, it's time for you to throw some money at that. It's almost impossible to level up the legendary heroes you unlock without buying their version of data cubes or crates, because they don't drop DNA fragments anywhere else. And your basic level guys that you can get it have a power threshold. So it's almost impossible to finish later missions with lower characters, you have to buy to power up the legendary.
Okay. Yeah. So, and that's what, like I said, I'm level 15. Right? Gauge on where I have spent nothing on the game. I would not be opposed to giving some stipend of money because I enjoy it or whatever. And just if it ends up not being the case, I don't want to support something that's super sketchy like that. I like supporting that. So I'm waiting to see. I know Ranger was mentioning having issues at around level 20, I believe it was.
Mm-hmm.
And some other people I've talked to, I believe, I don't want to get people's names wrong. So for the sake of it, I've talked to other people who have also been stymied right around 17-ish starts to be where the grind becomes like you're spending so much time trying to unlock chests, you literally can't. And that's a bit of a downer if that ends up being the case, especially because I guess you need the upgrades to continue. Mm-hmm. And then your damages start outweighing the amount of gold you make. So you can't even repair your gear. Okay, so I'll know next time if that's the case, because then I'll be at that point myself, if I'm already 15. So I'll be able to comment on that from my own side. The only other thing, which, unless I am missing something from a gameplay perspective, it will also have a thing called Arena Mode, which is a PvP thing. It's not in the game yet. I don't really have a lot of interest in that. However, you can just spend money on chests. You can straight up buy weapons, or specifically a legendary moment. That is just straight pay to win. Like, if you can just buy a weapon and go into arena with that, you beat the crap out of somebody who doesn't have that. That seems crappy. Like,
that's unabashedly pay to win. That's not even thinly veiled what they call now pay for convenience, which is pay to win, but people are more accepting of it. Right. That's just outright pay to win. In a
PvE environment, pay to convenience doesn't bother me because it's not affecting my experience. If you want to buy a game and then not play it, because like you can pay, I think it's 50 gems to just complete the quest you're on. I'm like, okay, well, why are you even playing this? Like, the point of the game is to play the quest. So if you're paying to not play the quest, what are you doing? Like, I don't get it, but
that goes back to the Assassin's Creed thing that I was saying, where when you're forced to grind older missions in order to like, I've done the mission for the story, great, but now I have to go back and forth the dungeon because I literally am not at a power ceiling, and until I get a power increase, I can't move any further forward.
So if it auto beats it for you, you don't have to worry about the chance of... Okay, I guess that's something I didn't think about, because again, if I'm not enjoying the thing I'm playing, one thing you
stop playing it.
Yes, it's a game. This is supposed to be for fun. This is not my job. Like, although I have been kind of treating this early access, like I've been asking people for their... speaking of which, if anybody is playing Blades and you would like to DM me what level you are compared to how many gems you currently have, which is the real currency in the game, which you can buy. I've been curious on drop rates. Apparently, mine is very low by comparison, because, again, I don't know, I burned baby Talos statues or something like that recently, because I guess people are like, oh, I had like 200 gems, and I'm like, I'm 3 levels above you, and I have 50 gems than you. Like, so what? How is this possible?
Have you spent any money on the game?
Not yet.
Have your friends with a lot of gems have spent any money on the game?
No. Anybody that I'm asking about that, that's a good point. I should caveat that. Those are gems earned, not if you buy them.
But have they spent any money?
Oh, is it like reading if you've ever spent gems?
Yeah, yes. That could be possible.
That's interesting. I'm pretty sure Lady Nerevar, because she's one of the people who kind of drew my attention to that, she's earned substantially more than I have. And she was only like level 11. I don't believe. But that's actually a good note that I did not consider, and now I'm curious about that. That's a very good point, Art. But
basically there are a lot of background calculations. Tigs are not RNG.
Interesting. No, that's actually a very good point. But again, I want this game to do well, because I actually really enjoy this game much more than I expected to. I'm hoping this is what early access. temper this. Either give people more free gems so that they can balance it out. The rewards so far, like the daily login, aren't half bad. Like they're actually pretty decent from what I've gotten so far. Give more gems. The timers for building stuff is fine. The only one I like the timer on the gold chest of 6 hours.
Yeah.
The wooden chest is only 5 seconds. The baby chest, that's fine. You can even make that a minute to try to maybe encourage people to actually spend a gem on that, because who's going to waste for 5 seconds? The silver chests are everybody's hang up because they're 3 hours. So it's just long enough to jam up your inventory. I feel even if they knocked an hour off and maybe made wood ones a little more, that might help. I don't know. There's a balance there that I think they could reach to help. It's not totally out of whack, but it's really close to that line where that stuff is kind of hard to tell. So we'll see where it goes. They did make a reference to changing it when it went open access to everybody.
Yep.
So I guess we'll kind of see where it goes from here. And I'll have more updates because, like I said, I greatly enjoy the game. If you do play, use your gems to buy more chest slots. It makes your life way easier. Just an FYI for everybody. That's the way to go with your gems that they give you. Buy more chest slots because then you can just hold more.
Yep.
But I think that's pretty much it for me for the moment and from what I've experienced with Blades.
I wish I could experience it, but my Galaxy S7 does not support it, so...
I wanted to get it. I got it day one. Like, hey, day one, you're able to get this. I was so excited. I downloaded it. Doesn't work for you.
The early access might not even be on here in Turkey. Like, it might be on selected countries. Because I don't even see it on my Google Play, to be honest, so... It might not even be active here. But even if it was, this in the list of devices that support it, this phone doesn't exist. But as someone actually mentioned it in chat, this is going to at one point come to PC, right? Somehow link with PC, something like that.
I think so.
I remember reading something like that. Like
yes, it's supposed to have crossplay.
Right, yeah.
It's supposed to come to consoles as well. PC, consoles, and phones and tablets.
Alexa, Samsung refrigerators.
Blades, very special edition.
I guess I'll just wait until then. So, Promethean, what about you? What tales do you have?
So I was also gonna rave about the Blades music because that's definitely my favorite. You gotta stay off my poster, buddy. Oh, good God, this is not fun. Do
you want to take a minute to?
Yeah, take a minute and hide your poster.
No, I can't. I can't hide it from him. He's too good.
You will watch everyone's heart break on screen. If it happens to that thing.
I will legitly cry for you.
Yeah,
if, like he steps on and a ball goes through it. Like
yeah, it'll be okay. I am fishing again. It's going. I don't know. It's just a slow grind. I'm stuck in the rift right now because there's like a total of 10 fishing holes between 2 of the hole types that I need, and it's just I'm running around the map in circles and nothing's catching. And so, you know how it goes.
I can't do fish grind, and that's just doesn't work.
Yeah, I just want it. I have 3 trophies left, and then I get the PlayStation Platinum trophy for The Elder Scrolls. I need fishing, Emperor, and then I just need to have all of my like armor stolen, which is pretty easy. I just haven't done it. So I'm like trying to slowly get there, and hopefully I can get fishing done before Midyear Mayhem, and then when that happens, I can work on Emperor. Mm-hmm. And with the Emperor changes, hopefully it might be a little bit easier, and I get a group to help. So I'll see. It's just an achievement grind, as always. And then today I just spent some time doing some like outfits on my tunes because I had nothing else to do today, so I just spent time doing that. But The skin runs I already mentioned. I was going to talk about my posters, so yeah, those are the ones that I didn't get to hit yet.
Oh, well, I mean, that's still a lot of stuff there.
Yeah. Yep. So hopefully I'll have the Evanheart pack done by next week.
Ag,
Yes.
what about you?
I've been doing something kind of different lately.
Right.
So for those who don't know my real life job, I should say it's stressful. I enjoy doing it, but this week in particular, it's been incredibly stressful. Because we're going through an audit, which I'm very prepared for. Don't get me wrong, but it's just a lot of, hey, can you confirm this? Yeah, here you go.
Mm-hmm.
Good times. I enjoy audit. Don't get me wrong. I'm a weird bird.
It's a strange thing to enjoy, but
I like being scrutinized. If anyone's ever seen The Office before, there's a scene in there during the reviews, I guess, where Angela stands there going, I really enjoy being scrutinized. I believe I stand up really well to even incredible scrutiny and judgment. And that's just, I'm weird like that. I enjoy the audits. I like when the federal government comes in and says, are you doing this stuff? You have to do this stuff. And I'm like, yeah, wha-bam! Anyway. But because of this, I've just felt this weird desire to be like, I want to listen to some calming Elder Scrolls music, right? But I do it in a weird way. So I have a laptop there that I use to monitor all guild stuff and, whatever. I loaded ESO on.
Right.
And what I'm now doing at work is I essentially set up this cinematic scene for me where I run my characters to some of my favorite locations in ESO, park them, do like a sit emote, and then just turn the music way up and hear the music of the zones.
So it's like a living screensaver?
It is, essentially, yeah, because, I'm just sitting there watching it. It's just sitting right next to my computer where I'm there. I did this for Stonefalls. I went over essentially where the antlers of Vivek are. There's there's a sky shard up there, okay? On a cliff. I sat and parked myself and overlooked the ocean, was listening to the music from Stonefalls. I love the Stonefalls zone. I then went to I don't want to say Whiterun, East March, okay? And parked myself up on the coast right outside of why am I drawing a blank on it? Help me out. Town name.
Ebonheart? Wait.
No, this you're in East March. It's the big town. It's the big city. Windhelm. Thank you. Right. I had Stormhelm in my head, and I don't know why I'm doing that. And listening to that, and then after the music, I turn all the music off and I put the ambient noise just to listen to the ambient sounds. Oh, it's been fantastic so far.
In that note, you all know TN Crumpet. He's been doing something similar on his YouTube channel, like a full-on Elder Scrolls Online ambient video recordings, and they are amazing.
Yes.
That's TN Crumpet. I don't even need to spell that, I believe.
Yeah, everybody knows that.
We don't know TN Crumpet.
We actually did a networking unknown with him a while back.
Yeah, we did. So he's been doing that as well. So
great.
I love them. I just like listening to the soundtracks of all the games in general.
And listening to the soundtracks are one thing. Like, I agree. I also enjoy that. But it's something different when you can actually look over at your screen and see the zone in which it's a part of. Yeah. If that makes any sense.
For sure.
And Elder Scrolls Online's ambient audio is also amazing. It sometimes confuses me. If I forget ambient audio on full, I'm like, is it raining? What is
Yeah. No, it was just so good, and that's what I've been doing. So I've been visiting all my favorite zones, and trying to hit them. I'm in the Rift, and I essentially went to all the places that Thais and I used to quest at. I went into the Lions, the public dungeon there, and I have us sitting right at the front gate. Oh, I love it. It's so pretty. So pretty. So that's what I've been doing. That's really been my Tales. I had hoped to hop into Blades, but unfortunately I was met with the, hey, this ain't going to work for you. So I'm a little sad about that.
Mm-hmm.
But
well, maybe by the time you can get in, it'll be a little more optimized and a little less awkward.
That's the hope. Oh,
yeah.
There's my crab.
There goes a mud crab.
There went the mud crab. We lost the mud crab.
Now you can fast travel.
Yeah, so that's really what I've been doing. It's just been really nice to actually be able to do. Like I said, those are the two zones that I've been hitting so far. And honestly, those are some of my favorites. So yeah, that's me. That's my Tales. I actually did log in to do the Abner Tharn quest before. But I haven't finished it yet because my son interrupted me.
No spoilers.
He's like, he wanted to play. I tried to do it today while he was napping. I'm like, all right, this is great. And I started it. I met Abner Tharn, and I'm talking to him. Of course, I love hearing him, and I keep going, why couldn't I sacrifice you? I really wanted to, but hey, whatever.
He is such like a drama queen during that quest.
I love Abner Tharn.
That prologue is awesome.
It is great. Yeah, he is just so like dramatic about everything. The comments he makes are some of the best comments I have heard in the game to date.
Well, that's my hope. I'm hoping that I can finish that, but he woke up too early, so I didn't get to finish it. Here I am.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I would talk about it too, but you gotta finish it first.
Yeah.
You get a cool memento too, or collectible, whatever it is.
Yeah, it is a very cool memento.
Yeah, I like that with the
memento.
Very cool for anybody who doesn't have.
We did a vet. I did a vet Hellra or a normal one the other day with some people, and we all put it out. And when you fight a big group of ads, we all just ran with it going.
That's great.
It was awesome. Someone has a video somewhere, and I wish I was the one that had it, but.
Also, I believe it was Ishibu brought it up in chat. There is a Gore Stomp emote that you get from the 7-piece rune box collectibles from the dailies.
All right,
and your character
want that?
So I was curious what that meant. And apparently your character literally just does the stomping animation that the Guars do when they're like out in the field. So I will be getting that and attaching that to Arkhaniir, FYI.
Every day we step further away from God.
That's why you have no motifs.
That is your punishment, yeah, for all the things you've done, for all the heresy. Oh man.
Oh man.
My brain is slowly shutting down.
Well, if we're shutting down, we should probably end up.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it. I was like, I think we in a mere 2.5 hours, we managed to cover.
And here's the thing. At one point, I was talking about giveaways, and then we somehow ended up talking about everything else, spiraled into our tales, and I never got to finish talking about the giveaways. So...
just as I was saying about
as I was saying about an hour ago, we've done a bunch of giveaways and we still have some. And I was actually planning to do it live, but I don't know how. We would have to set Nightbot up for it, and I don't have access to Nightbot. Which
do you use Slobs?
No,
Streamlabs OBS.
I use Streamlabs OBS
because that has a built-in giveaway thing. By the way,
it does. Hold on.
Yes, it does.
Can I use it? Yeah, but here's the thing: my Streamlabs OBS is logged into my channel, not DCN channel. So
I think it just reads chat. I don't know. But anyway,
it doesn't have access to DCN chat. That's the thing. I'm seeing my own channel's chat right now.
Your own chat channel.
Yeah,
that's weird.
It's not weird because I'm logged into my channel with just your stream key. That's it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That makes sense then.
Yep. So anyway, all the things that I still have planned to give away, they will continue happening over at Tales of Tamriel Twitter, which is in chat right now, twitter.com/TalesOfTamriel. And, well, if you're listening to this recorded, I'm sure there are links all around under the video and things like that. So,
not to mention, it's very easy to find, as it's just
yes. If you just write.
If you found the podcast, you can find the Twitter.
So there are more things to give. Yeah. Whew. Episode 200, right?
Yeah.
Crazy wild ride.
Yep, 200 down.
All right, let's leave it at
300. Let's do it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wait, we just going to next week's 300?
300.
Yeah,
we're gonna do all 300 episodes, all 100 episodes in 1 week. Just bam, 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 bam.
I mean, no one
the amount of time that passed, would that even be physically possible? Even if we
did 1 hour show every hour, yeah, I don't.
No one says that we should do a 1 hour show. I mean, every show could just be greetings, weary traveler, and that's it. Not even the full of it. Just that.
Yep. And then you just go straight into the outro, but you do it differently and wrong every time, so no one knows what the real one.
It's literally, that's it. It's welcome to Tales of Tamriel. What have you guys played? Elder Scrolls! That's the end of Tales of Tamriel, episode 201, coming in 30 seconds, episode 202.
Perfect. Genius strategy.
Yeah, that would work.
Yeah.
That would work. All right. I guess we wrap it up then. Yeah, I mean,
let's do it. Come on, you're the main host here. Let's get this done.
I am a main host at 5:30 a.m. in like brain. No, gone.
10:30. I should have been in bed 2.5 hours ago. I'm an old man.
I'm an old soul.
After Sesame Street's over, it's bedtime.
It's all over. Yeah. Luckily, all that Jaeger bomb kicked in, and I'm like super awake. So I'm gonna go eat something. And
oh, I do have buffalo chicken pizza upstairs.
Oh man, I'm hungry and I got nothing. And it's 5
a.m.
a.m.
on the show. We're just gonna make everybody.
I have a cheesesteak stromboli upstairs as well. Yeah.
You can follow everything we do over at
Nice, good. Push through it.
You can follow everything we do over at DungeonCrawlerNetwork.com. There you can find links to all of our social media, including Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. Be sure to check out our Patreon at patreon.com/DungeonCrawlerNetwork if you want to help support the show, as well as consider leaving us a 5-star review on iTunes so people know that we are a real podcast, that we say real words, and sometimes it matters. Oh. Thank you for joining us on this celebration episode with both of our episode 200 and 5 years of Elder Scrolls Online. Thank you all so very much, and we hope to see you all next week, where we return on our usual time, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is if everyone is available. If not, we'll let you all know over Twitter. And yeah, stay tuned on our Twitter for more giveaways as well, and have a good night.
Bye, everybody. Thanks so much for hanging out.
Good night.
When Akatosh slew Lorcan, he ripped his heart right out. He hurled it across Tamriel, and the heart was heard to shout, red diamond, the heart and soul of men. Red diamond, protect us till the end. The laughing heart sprayed blood afar, a gout on Seer it fell, and like a dart shot to its mark down in an alien well. Magicka fused the Lorcan blood to crystal red and strong. Then wild elves cut and polished it down to chimel at a ball. Red diamond, the heart and soul of men. Red diamond, protect us till the end. When elves lost Nirn to men, Akatosh gave the stone to Saint Alesh in token of her right to sit the throne. Red diamond, the heart and soul of men. Red diamond, protect us till the end. Red diamond, protect us till the end.